Hey, I'm gonna show you some, yeah, let's say you have some forecasts here and you wanna, no, these are actuals. And you have average stock data, it can be currency data, it can be oil data to the left, and you wanna average the stock data or some other daily data into quarters and years. So in this case, we have average stock data, and we have two criteria ranges for in order for this to work. We have, as you can see here, we have quarters and we have years. But the quarters are not values. So what I've done is I've done substitute numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's how we know which quarter it is. So the first thing we need to do is look at our data to the left. We have date and we have closing price. And as you can see, this is not a year, it's not a month, it's not a day if you were to look at the general format. So what we need to do is extract the year. Perfect, so we have our year here. But how do you extract the quarter? Well, you could do like this. You'll get the month, and we know that December is in quarter 4, so you could divide this by 3 and you'll get 4. But what happens if you pull it down to perhaps here? Well, you'll get an average. So the function I use is called ceiling. So it's basically like a, what would you say, a delimiter perhaps. So yeah, the number is, you need to, this is the syntax. Right now, just I'm gonna zoom it in a bit. As you can see here, simple, straightforward year. In this case, we need to change it to ceiling month. Then you pick the date range like that. Significance 4. And then you get the same as doing the month. And then you divide it by 3. So as you can see, this one will be a 4. When we pull it down, it will still be 4, so it won't average itself. It'll just round out to the closest quarter. Something happened there. 1 second, maybe 3. Jesus. There we go. So this is the best way of doing it, in my opinion. Perfect, so now we have the criteria range 1 for quarters and criteria range 2 for year. And they correspond to criteria range here. So let's go to the formula. It's called average ifs. It's introduced in Excel 2016. It's similar to sum ifs when it comes to syntax, but first we need to find the average range, which is straightforward. It's this one. And this can be, you can lock it in with both dollar signs. So the first criteria range, I usually start with a smaller time period, in this case quarter. Remember, it has to be symmetrical to the sum range or average range. So in this case, that is not the case. Why is it not working? Now it should work. Okay. So let's start over. Average ifs here. What's happening? There we go. Lock them in. The first criteria range is our quarter. As you can see, they are at the same length, so it should work. This one can also be locked in. But the criteria range is moving, so keep it like this. But what happens if we were to only use this criteria range? We would get our daily data just in quarters. So if we were to, should work. So now, if we were to pull it to this paste formula to the next Q1, we'll probably get the same value for Q1 2014 and Q1 2015. As you can see, they're the same ones. So that's why you need a second criteria range. So we got our first criteria. The second criteria is the year. So do the same thing again, but for this criteria range. What happened now? Jesus. Come on. There we go. The second criteria is 2014. Usually you can do it like this, I think. +1. If you were to use it on this one, it'll just pop over to this one after one cell. So as you can see now, if we were to paste the formula to Q1 next year, you'll get a different value. And if you were to pull it to Q4, you'll get, so as you can see, we've averaged the stock data into quarters for these years. And we can go ahead and make a chart. Yeah, that's one way of using average ifs.